I have a Honda GXV530 on a Hustler mower. It will not turn over. I have a new battery. I checked power to magnetic switch on starter from battery good, then checked for voltage on connector on bottom of magnetic switch from ignition switch while turning key none. I removed wire from ignition switch at starter turned key and had 12.5 volts. Replaced magnetic switch, still not working. I checked all safety switches, seat and both control handles, all good. I looked up wiring diagram and found some wire colors are different. I found hot wire from base of magnetic switch goes to ignition and another goes to rectifier. I can't figure this thing out, please help.
Hello, and thank you for choosing JustAnswer. I'll be helping you today and am committed to providing clear and concise answers to your question. What is the model and serial of the Hustler, please?
Model 927368, serial 060122202.
Thank you. Do I understand correctly that you get 12 volts out of the S terminal on the key switch in the start position, but you do not get 12 volts at the end of the small wire, red/black, connected to the energizing tab of the solenoid?
No, I get 12V at end of red/black wire when disconnected from magnetic starter switch. When it is connected I get nothing.
If you take a jumper lead from the top post of the solenoid that hooks to the positive battery cable and touch it down to the energizing connector where the black/red wire is hooked, does it crank?
Jump it from battery post on solenoid to small tab with red/black wire or to post connected to starter?
From the top post of the solenoid that hooks to the positive battery cable and touch it down to the energizing connector where the black/red wire is hooked. Not to the top post connected to the starter.
Okay, going to try it now.
Good deal. Let me know, please.
Yes, it turned the starter.
So the solenoid is fine. I would trace the red/black wire from that point back to the key switch. Sounds like you have a short to ground somewhere along the length.
I removed it from solenoid to test. That wire goes through a little black box then to the ignition switch.
Where's this box located? What wires are coming from it?
Inside the control panel with ignition switch, choke, throttle, blade control. Black wire to ignition switch, WHT/red to another little box next it. Other black box has several black wires going to ignition switch.
Okay, that's the starter relay. Here's a way to test it. Relay test.
Checking.
Thank you.
Between terminals 87A and 30.2 ohms, between 85 and 86 78.7 ohms, between 87 and 30 with power applied 12.1 ohms. There is another relay next to this one but I didn't check it. Would it have the same test?
Yes. Both relays are identical.
Okay, checking.
Thank you.
Other relay, 86 and 85 equals 23 ohms, 87A and 30 equals 0.1 ohms, 87 and 30 equals 0.0, and there is no wire going to 87 on this relay.
My bet is you just found the problem. Here's a schematic to help locate and identify that wire. There should be one on all the terminals.
I will need to look again, there is no extra wire lying there.
Please double check. According to Hustler's schematic, it should be there. Rig 41085.98980848838.
All wires are connected, hard to figure out. One relay has jumper from 87A to 86.
Okay. I've stitched this schematic together and outlined the path of voltage leaving the S terminal on the starter. Do you get voltage all along this path when the start requirements are met? Key and start, handles out, brake on, deck off.
Rick, there is no block/WHT from kill relay to rectifier as displayed in this diagram, no wire on terminal 87 on kill relay. There are no broken wires visible or damaged connectors. This problem came up at end of last year. I loaded up on trailer and drove it 40 miles to the shop where I bought it, and it never failed while it was there and has worked up until 2 weeks ago. It stays in a storage building, so it's never been exposed to the elements other than mowing once a week for 6 years. Do you think maybe both relays need to be changed? I checked for voltage on red/black wire from solenoid while turning key. I get 12.5 volts. If I check for voltage while it's connected to solenoid, I get nothing. I have to be somewhere in an hour, so I will check back with you when I return. Thanks.
Relays indeed often go bad, but before I said it was the relay, I'd also make sure to check both neutral switches on the handle and the seat switch. If these are bad, they will prevent the relays from working. Also, do you get a good ground on the black wire of each? If do an ohm check between the black connections and the frame, you do get continuity? Do you get continuity, with the battery diconconnected, between the switches shown on the schematic?
Rick, I hurt my back so could not work on mower today. I will be checking those items in the morning. Hopefully, it will be solved tomorrow and I will enter good rating. Thanks. I checked all safety switches as well as continuity through each wire and continuity of ground for each one.
The back injury isn't fun. I've been fighting one for almost 3 years now. Hope it gets better really fast. This is really sounding like the relay then, even though the ohms reading is within spec on one. The other one, 23 ohms, is a bit low, but I usually see a bigger change than that. As long as you are getting energizing voltage to the start relay, the only other test I can recommend is to remove the relay from the circuit, temporarily be jumpering between the red/black wire coming from the S terminal of the ignition switch to the red wire continuing to the starter solenoid where they both connect at the relay. This would effectively remove the start relay from the equation. Although I'm a bit more suspicious of the one with the lower reading.
If you have a home improvement or appliance question and want to chat with an expert now, visit justanswer.com/ythi.